Hey guys, welcome back to Back Pocket Game Reviews. And originally I wasn't going to have a video go up today because I've got like 4 game reviews. Tomorrow is going to be a whole bunch of game reviews. There's going to be a bunch of game reviews. So make sure you check back tomorrow. There's a lot. I mean, we're talking a lot. Like 3 or 4 game reviews are going to go up tomorrow. So Nintendo today. Keep in mind, tomorrow is also a Nintendo Direct, so I also might have some videos going up after the Nintendo Direct. Nintendo today, though, announced that they will be continuing the SNES Classic after the first of the year, which originally they weren't going to do. They were going to just, end of the year, done, that's it. But they did state there were going to be regular shipments and larger supplies of them that were going to be going around during that time period. So they've already said they were going to double it. Now they're going to be giving out even more because they want to make sure that everyone can get it. Reggie actually recently even said, don't go onto eBay and don't pay more than $80 for an SNES Classic. Reggie said that. Yeah, Reggie. He's pretty good at being a face of that company. So they're going to have a decent amount at least going around. So if you were worried about being able to get one, you should at least feel a little more at ease about it, whether you get one day of release or not. A lot of you know that I actually got mine out of the last shipment that most stores got. So Best Buy's last time getting in the NES Classics was when I got my NES Classic. Now, to add to that awesome news, summer of 2018, they will be bringing back and bringing into production the NES Classic again. Not with different games, the same NES Classic, re-released for those of you who weren't able to get one the first time. Again, Nintendo, if you saw the last video that I did talking about this, Nintendo actually stated they got a lot of their projections and sales estimates off of at-game sales of their retro consoles. And they're like, well, based on the market and the way the market is with these retro consoles, we didn't think it was going to be as popular as it was. Now, they said a competitor when they said the at-game stuff. That's why I'm assuming it was at-games. Obviously, that's really the only other retro gaming company that makes these retro consoles, except the consoles they make are junk. Complete junk. So Nintendo's are very well made, very, very similar to the original product in terms of feel and the way that the games handle and the sound, and everything about it is essentially a recreation of nostalgia for those of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Obviously, I love my NES Classic. The NES was my first gaming console I ever had, so it was very important for me to get one. I do have a Retro Pi as well, and I love my Retro Pi. And it is nice because I can play Genesis stuff, which I don't have the capability of playing with the SNES or the NES Classic. I really wish Sega would hop on board and make their own kind of flashback console, but I strongly doubt that's going to happen. They're probably just going to continue to partner with that games. Sega still does make hardware, for those of you who aren't aware as well. Sega is still one of the leading manufacturers of arcade cabinets, which I know a lot of you think that is a dying market, but it is actually huge in Japan and a lot of other countries that aren't the US. And it is starting to make a slight comeback here in the US with a lot of the retro barcades that have started to pop up. A lot of them do add in a couple of like newer cabinets as well to mix in with a lot of their retro stuff. However, I thought this was very good news, and a lot of people were really excited. I'm excited to hopefully be able to get another controller for my NES Classic. I only got one name brand controller, like one actual Nintendo first-party controller. I did get the My Arcade wireless controllers, and they actually work really well. So if you're looking to pick up an NES Classic down the road and you're wondering about how those wireless controllers work, they work really well. I'm not disappointed in them. The Nyko ones I would avoid, but the My Arcade ones actually work fantastically well, feel very similar to the original. They're a little bulkier because they have wireless components inside, and the buttons are squared instead of circles. Those are really going to be your big differences. I don't know if they're going to have accessories like that for the SNES Classic. That I haven't really heard too much about it. I haven't seen any of those online. I would assume a lot of those companies are going to hop on board with that, because you'd almost have to think that their products, for the ones that aren't junk, like the Edge Fight Stick or the joystick and the My Arcade controllers, had to have sold really well and done pretty well for the companies. But we'll see. Again, I have plans on obtaining an SNES Classic, or at least attempting to, on the night that they release. So on the 28th, I will be live streaming here on the main channel, and you guys can see where I'm going, where I'm going to be at. This place is doing a midnight release, and we'll get into all that. So to those of you who are trying to get one night of release, may the odds be ever in your favor, and good luck. I will be out there as well with you. Yeah, just let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about Nintendo bringing back the NES Classic. I think that's very good for them. I think that's a lot of fan service right there. Nintendo does tend to listen to their fans. It's just, on this particular incident, they really, really didn't estimate it well. And that's fair. It's not like you really have a lot of market stuff that you can gauge it off of. It's not like they can figure out how much of their retro stuff still sells, which would have honestly probably been a better representation of how well that market would have done, would have been to see how much NES stuff actually sells from mom and pop stores. But there is no real way to gauge that, and there is no real way to find out what those sales numbers look like. But let me know down below how you guys feel about it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. That thumbs up is a giant middle finger to the haters. And we all know I've got quite a few of them. And thanks for watching. I'll have plenty more content coming for you soon, guys.